Greetings and welcome to Disrupt Your Day with Petula Sankarsingh. I am the CEO and founder of VisionReady. Disrupt Your Day brings you the struggles, stories, and success of entrepreneurs to learn from and disrupt your day. Hello and welcome to Disrupt Your Day. I am your host, Petula Sankarsingh. Today, our entrepreneur guest is Lynn. Lynn will be talking about her journey from corporate to becoming an entrepreneur, launching several businesses, her journey through that, as well as any struggles she could share, just her overall story, and ending with her success. Hi, Lynn. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to have you on board, and hopefully all our entrepreneurs can learn something amazing from you. So when you're ready, let's hear.
Sure. So yeah, I'm excited to be now calling myself an entrepreneur because I
Yeah.
wasn't always.
Okay.
I spent my 30-year career in advertising in the corporate world,
Mhm.
which was, as you probably can imagine, very testosterone heavy,
Oh, yes.
very testosterone heavy.
Uh-huh.
Especially when I started out, because it's been a while. And I actually loved it. I loved working in advertising. I loved building brands. I loved using creativity as a business tool. So that was all like really fun. And I really loved working on such a variety of businesses, which you get to do in advertising because you get to
Yes.
work on tampons, liquor,
Yeah.
beauty, cars, whatever you want. So
Yes.
it's actually a really interesting business. But I guess I'll fast forward to where
Mhm.
I am now a little bit,
Okay.
because in 2018, I was running a very large agency,
Okay.
and was not enjoying it so much. Because, I think people assume that once you get to be more senior, you get to like live a glamorous life and go jet set and, get to
Yeah.
with celebrities and stuff like that. And that just doesn't happen.
Oh
At
man.
least not in my life, maybe other people, but not so much for me. So instead, I was spending a lot of my time doing, operational, boring finance,
Oh,
HR, legal, that kind of stuff, and not really why I got into the business.
right.
It was felt like I was like it was like a different job. So
Mhm.
I decided, why am I doing this? I'm getting too old, and you know what? I'm impatient and I want control of my life back.
Mhm.
So I quit in 2018.
Good for you.
Thank you. And I started doing some consulting with startups, which was fun because I have all this experience, right, in
Yeah.
marketing and advertising. And I really wanted to help the small business owners
Mhm.
and help the founders who didn't
Yeah.
have that, experience. So it was great. And I felt like I could really make a dent. And then I met my co-founder, James, for my hair care business. And he's like a nutty professor.
Oh
He's
my God.
in the best way. And
Yeah.
he'd been working on our hair care formulations for about 10 years and just really didn't know how to commercialize them, which of course is what I know how to do.
Mhm.
So we just got on like a house on fire and we decided to launch a company together. And then it's been full steam ahead. I mean, it has been
Oh my God.
crazy.
That is
So,
amazing. So, did you guys decide to go brick and mortar or online?
so we decided to be what I call DTC plus, which means primarily online,
Mhm.
but we're still in a few salons. We are in some brick and mortar because I think these days people want to have the convenience of having brands be where they are.
And just
And
go pick it up, right?
so sometimes it's online. I mean, we're on Amazon for that reason because that's where people shop. That's where
Exactly.
our competitors are. So it's like I just think you kind of have to be there. So So yeah, so we're both. We launched at New York Fashion Week, which was very much offline, but this
Yeah.
was pre-COVID. This was in February of 2020.
Mhm.
So when we launched, it was like, we're doing shows at New York Fashion Week in these small rooms, and it was only a few weeks before really the COVID lockdown kind of hit.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that was an interesting time for us, for sure.
Especially to launch. Yes, 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 yes. So since you guys have started, I know you all decided to do this and, been working on it for now, what, a year, a little over a year?
Well, we started in 2018. It took us about,
2018.
yeah, it took us about 18 months because whenever anyone asks me about launching a business, you always have to remember all the boring stuff.
Yes.
Like you have to get a trademark and you have to get your operational stuff set up and your tax structure set up and your corporation set up and, all that stuff that I don't like personally, but you need.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it takes time. And then of course, when you're doing an e-com business, which a lot of businesses are, you need to have a website.
Yes.
You need to have all the right plugins, all the right tools, all the right,
Yes.
widgets and things like that
Yeah.
to make sure it's all working. And so that takes some time to figure out. And then of course you need fulfillment.
Mhm.
You got to figure out how you're going to ship the stuff.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's the whole thing. So everything it ends up taking a lot longer than you realize, is my point.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Often a lot of people have this vision and they just want to jump straight into it, and they don't even think about that to
Yeah.
begin with. And later on, then they start thinking, "Oh crap, I didn't do this, I didn't do that." So it's great that you guys took the time to do that. Within that time and launching, and now you're out there into the universe. What would you say was the hardest part or the struggle, like from then to now?
Boy, I would say, sorry for my dog. He's just
Oh, that's
a pain in the
okay.
butt. He's adorable, but he's loud. Um, I would say the hardest part was just trying to figure out where the world was going and the market was going, because when we launched, we had a strong salon, business plan, which,
Oh, okay.
and we all know salons, had a tough year last year, right? Yeah. So we had to kind of reevaluate, revisit, look at e-commerce, look at our content, look at our customers, like
Mhm.
just basically just pivot.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
weren't really able to do everything we wanted. We were lucky. We got a partnership with Spoken Wheel Salons,
Okay.
and which is great. They have 8 salons across the US, and then we're also in Dream Dry salons. But um, I would say just being able to sort of anticipate what's next has been the hardest challenge,
Yes.
because you want to stay ahead. And if you're like me, you're a little type A, you want to plan
Yeah.
it out,
I am. Yeah.
yeah, very hard to do that these days. You kind of have to be willing to just sort of like go with the flow and let it all happen and do your best.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, when we think that everything's shifting and, we're post-COVID, it doesn't seem like that's gonna be what's happening for the rest of the year. And who knows what 2022 is gonna hold for us, right?
Exactly.
So with your experience from shifting from corporate to now running your own business and finally entrepreneur, and having all the marketing and advertising behind you, um, what would be your advice to an entrepreneur who's now starting off as far as getting their brand out there?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I would say, first of all, make sure you have a viable brand
Mhm.
idea and brand story, brand positioning, because a lot of times, I'm
Mhm.
not going to embarrass anyone, but I have met with some founders who, I'm sorry, their ideas were not good. You know
Oh,
what I mean? Like, and you just kind of cringed because it's not going to work.
yeah.
They love it, along with 2 other people, maybe. It's not scalable. It's not scalable.
Right.
So I think the first thing you got to do is make sure you actually have a viable business idea that people want and that are, willing to pay for, and you can scale, because otherwise you're going to be spending a lot of time, hitting your head against the wall. And then work on your brand positioning and your brand story. What makes you different? What are your values? Those things are things that should really be your pillars of your communication. And then from there, there's a lot you can do that is scrappy and bootstrapped and low cost. So you don't need to spend a ton of money on the marketing side. You can do podcasts.
Yes.
Right now. It's a great way to tell your story. So yeah, I love doing podcasts. You could do podcasts, you could do articles, you could do blogs, you could do collaborations. We do a lot of live streaming. We're on IG
nice.
Live, we're on Talk Shop Live, we're on Spin Live, we're on all sorts of, so there's a lot of interesting new platforms that are, kind of in a more of a social selling model.
Yes.
So yeah, so I mean, and most of them are easy for small brands like mine to get on. They charge you a % of sales, so you're not having to pay like a subscription fee or something, and you see if it works and you experiment.
Yeah, that's great advice. That is very good advice. And I understand what you're saying because because people sign on to my platform. I work with them one-on-one or my coaches, as consultant, not a coach actually, but a consultant, and look at their brand, look at the story. And oftentimes they can't even tell their own story, right? They can't even really. I was like, how would you pitch to me? And then they would say something. I was like, I have no idea what you said or what that meant. But having them put, for me, what's been powerful is having them put it down in writing, that paper to pen, whether it's on a computer, I'm just saying, and actually ask them the questions. It's getting them to think about their brand and helping them to see, because a lot of them will just fill it out like blindly because, like you said, they love it and they think it sounds great, and then they'll turn it into to me, and I said, would you mind if I read it back to you? And I think that's like one of the most powerful things that I've done with them. So that is some excellent advice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And then for yourself, so how do you celebrate your wins? Because I know being an entrepreneur, sometimes we just are going, and we don't take time and just sit back and say, wow, this was a great week. So how do you celebrate your wins?
I need to do more of it. You're reminding me actually right now that I don't do enough, because I am very much a production oriented person.
Yes.
I like to get stuff done. But I think life is short and we should be stopping to celebrate that. And we should also figure out, I need to do this better, but like balancing out self-care so that it's not, like taking that time to decompress.
Yes.
But I do enjoy my glass of wine. That is
Yay.
a celebrate my win. And also just what's the beauty, I will say, of having your own business is you get to decide who you want to work with.
Oh my God. Right.
It's
That's so powerful.
magical. It's so powerful. You don't have to work with people you don't like. You don't have to work with toxic people. You can really craft your life and your social life and your personal life as well around more positivity. And that's what I've tried to do. And now in my entrepreneurial life is work with people that are supportive and we build each other up.
Yes.
And so that's when you're talking about celebrating wins. I think I like to be with my team, and
Oh, that's great.
yeah, because it's nice.
So give us a quick snapshot about your products. Like, what do you guys offer, and what do people love about them?
Yeah, so MASAMI it's clean premium hair care. We have a Japanese ocean botanical that's all about weightless hydration, the key word being weightless, because a lot of moisturizing products weigh your hair down.
Yes, it does.
So our products do not, and they don't have sulfates, parabens, or phthalates. So they're clean, they're salon quality. But people really love, I think, the performance. They're when you use our products, they really make your hair hydrated from the inside out and healthy. And so you don't have to wash your hair as much. I mean, you and I were talking about that earlier, but like, and it's kind of funny for me, I have a hair care brand and I'm telling you not to wash your hair as much, but if your hair is healthy and hydrated, you don't need to.
Exactly.
That's the key. And so the products really do transform your hair. And people tell me, that they feel like they never have a bad hair day anymore because
Oh, I like it.
yeah, and it doesn't break, by the way. That's another thing. It sort of helps you with if you have hair fall or breakage or, because when your hair's hydrated, the strands are stronger,
Yes.
they're not gonna break. So that's kind of the trick of our products. But we're vegan, we're cruelty free, we're gender
Okay.
neutral, we're all that good. So we have actually a lot of men love us.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
amazing. I'm
So
gonna have to get some of your products and try it myself, considering.
yeah, I think your hair would love it. Yes.
Yes. That's awesome. So I like to celebrate wins. That with your team is a win. I also like to celebrate success. So at this point in your journey, what would you consider as your success?
Boy, I would say getting our loyal customer base to where it is I think our biggest success. Meaning we have a lot of repeat customers who love our business, our products and our brand and our business. And to me, that's the best testament
Mhm.
because there are a lot of businesses that launch, and if you don't have, put it this way, if you're spending all your time having to acquire new customers all the time,
Yeah.
you're never going to have a profitable business.
Yes, indeed.
So for me, it was really important to have a business where people come back, they like it, they want the products, they feel really good about using the products. And I mean, there are some of our customers who are like, it's almost like a cult status. They buy so much. And I love it.
That's great.
I know. So to me, that's our best definition of, I mean, we have other successes around, retail partnerships and other things
Okay.
we're doing. But I think I go back to the customers. To me, that's the most satisfying.
Oh my God, retention, right?
Yeah.
I talk about that all the time to my partners, or the people who subscribe, the business owners, but some of them don't understand. One girl is just selling a downloadable, and I'm like, well, what are they going to do after that?
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, you're making the money now, but how are they going to come back to you? What's the next step? So that's awesome that you guys have customers that keep coming back and love your product. But that in itself says a lot about your product, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes, absolutely. Well, with that said, we want to celebrate you and your company and the success. It seems like you guys are doing so amazing on your journey. So thank you again for joining us. I like to do it with a toast at the end. I actually have a small little brief thing I wrote about a wine I chose for like
Ah,
yourself and your business. So I'd like to share that with you. So I actually chose a Cabernet, a red cab, which is rich and red, right? It seems like you have an attention to details. You're also very classy with and love learning and exploring the world around you. And you're proud of your experiences, whether it's good or bad. And it's helped you throughout your journey. So, with that said, I want to toast with you as I
thank
give it.
you.
Yeah, cheers to you.
Cheers.
And thank you again for being part of this journey with us and this podcast. And please, we'll share your link and everything. And when we launch the podcast on the bottom of every of this particular podcast, so people can get in touch with you and your hair products. So thank you so much for joining us.
That was so fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Make sure and subscribe to our podcast. For the latest entrepreneur buzz, sign up for our e-newsletter. Link in description. Remember, success is like a hangover.